2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of the entire week. We are setting that tone. Going to carpe diem all over this place. That's what we do each and every day here on this show, and it's so wonderful to have you join us as usual. Got a lot to go on. It is another primary election day. 3 states that I know of, at least. What do we have today? We have Wisconsin, we have Minnesota, we have South Carolina, at least some of the big states that we are following. We will break those races down for you in just a little bit. Governor's races, Senate races, and a heck of a lot more. So what could we see, and will we see an increase maybe in Republican voter turnout that has been pretty low across the board in other states right now? So we'll get to all that here in just a little bit. As usual, though, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas on our flagship radio station. We are all over the country with so many great stations doing our thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day here on the program. Kathy Morris will be on at the bottom of the hour. She's with the Action Network. We're going to look past the primaries, go into midterm season in November and do some predictions and what the polls say right now and what the predictions are. Polymarket has an 86% chance that Democrats take the House of Representatives. Is that true?
Say what?
If so, I'm a little concerned about that. So we'll break all those numbers down and talk about the Democratic Socialists of America and the state of the Democrat Party. There is another one of those DSA candidates that are up today, state of Wisconsin, in the governor's race that we will break down and see whether there's an actual chance for that to happen or not. That being said, speaking of the DSA and the radicalism that is taking hold,
what's trending today?
I kind of have to laugh. There is a piece out of the Financial Times today by an individual, and you know that it's a propaganda piece when they start talking about how wonderful things are when there's zero evidence for things to actually be wonderful. Financial Times. Want to go to New York City for just a moment. There's an opinion piece by a guy, which I guess would make sense why he's loving the way things are going right now. Ruchir Sharma. Ruchir Sharma. I believe. Look, no hate. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. He is, by the way, the chair of the Rockefeller International. So there is that. And the latest book of What Went Wrong with Capitalism. Gee, I wonder what side of the aisle he's on, right? Yeah. Here's the headline. Here's a headline for you from the Financial Times. New York is having a summer for the ages. I want to read you the first 2 paragraphs, and that's all we need to read because then you'll get the summation of what the heck's going on here. Even a year ago, chatter around New York evoked a rotten apple, with rats and crime gnawing at the reputation of the world's premier city. Millionaires were moving in droves to more business-friendly places like Miami. Foreigners were staying away, repelled by the agenda of the hometown president, Donald Trump. Now, we're having a summer for the ages. I lived here for 25 years and cannot remember a more energized buzz. It started with the Knicks winning the NBA title for the first time in over a half a century with disarmingly blue-collar roster. Then came the best-attended World Cup ever. But the excitement goes deeper than great moments in sports. Tourism kept flooding in after Spain's victory, if the crowds around Rockefeller Center were any indication. A booming Wall Street is turning Midtown into an even more dense village of the world's most powerful financiers who pull in other industries. June saw monthly records of $4.7 billion in new revenue capital investment in New York, a third coming from outside the U.S. and more than half going to AI startups. The entrepreneurs of AI are said to be, quote, feasting on Manhattan office spaces. So I don't know how that creates a buzz, but according to this guy by the name of Ruchir Sharma, he says that New York City is a buzz with some of the best environment that New York has seen in a very long time. Do you believe it? Come on. No, come on. I thought it was a buzz. Zohran Mamdani getting the kids all excited. Everything's all wonderful in New York right now. He may be taxing millionaires and billionaires because we don't like millionaires and billionaires, right? They're evil.
It is totally absurd.
Totally absurd. You shouldn't be a billionaire. We need to tax the heck out of all of them, which is what the platform is for the Democratic Socialists of America. So you're driving businesses away. You're driving the people with money away, but now you say it's all a buzz. Look, I'm here to tell you, and this may be a bit of a, buster for them. It may not go very well for their side, but having hipsters having picnics in the park does not make you a buzz in the city. It just, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Just because the hipsters are coming out of their basement, they're taking off their Antifa war paint, which is their mom's mascara, and they're coming out and having a picnic in, Madison Square Garden, does not mean that the place is a buzz. Because from what I hear is that Florida is recognizing New York City, and Zohran Mamdani is the great victor for their economic growth with how many businesses are fleeing New York City to go down to the state of Florida or other places around the country. Businesses are leaving. People with all those second houses that are getting taxed right now, that's being challenged in court, by the way, as well, that all of them are leaving because they can't deal with what's going on in New York. So you can try and smooth it over as much as you want to by polishing the you-know-what, but I don't think it's going to work. But good luck on that one. Here's the positive side. If you are seeing hipsters having picnics outside, I guess at least it's getting them outdoors and away from their phones, right? Away from the technology. So I guess there is good news there, which, speaking of technology.
What's trending today?
You like that transition away from that one? Yeah, that was the best transition I could come up with on that. The transition, the new technology in these data centers, which is kind of crazy. If you think that that's a buzz, I guess literally you could hear a buzz from the buildings that are vacant that you're going to put in with all these AI data centers and all the computers and software and servers that you're going to put in there. I guess you'll hear a buzz. That will be great. But have you heard the latest from Mark Zuckerberg? Now, he's still in the world of technology, obviously, and one of the head ones where he's coming out with his new AI and personal assistant for individuals. And his goal is to not just have a robot assisting you with your everyday needs in your home, but, which Elon Musk is kind of pushing there, but Mark Zuckerberg of Meta and of Facebook now wants everybody to have their own personal AI to do pretty much everything for you.
All right, hey, so I think that the key to building a positive future for everyone is to make sure that everyone has access to personal superintelligence.
So
today, I am proud to share that we are open sourcing a new class of on-device models that we are calling Muse Glimmer. It's a 30 billion parameter dense model that runs on your laptop, and it's the highest performing model of its size. In the coming weeks, we are also going to open the weights for Muse Spark 1.2, our latest foundation model and one of the leading models in the world. And we've got even bigger models that are coming soon too. Another part of building a positive future for everyone is making sure that everywhere we build infrastructure, local communities benefit. We've already seen this with the teachers in Richland Parish who got $50,000 bonuses because of the extra tax revenue from our investments. And we launched America's Workforce Academy to provide free training and guaranteed jobs at our infrastructure sites. Today, we're starting a new Future is for Everyone fund to invest in the community's teachers, first responders, energy and water infrastructure, and more ways to support those communities directly. We're also working to make sure that everyone has a personal superintelligence agent that works 24/7 on your behalf to improve your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, and more.
I don't know what that means. So this new personal AI that is going to pretty much do everything for you, be your life coach, encourage you, don't eat that second donut, you fatty. I mean, I guess that's what AI is going to do for you now. It's going to be on your laptop. I want you to input everything you ate today and then decide, well, you know, you had a lot of carbs today. I don't think you should order that pizza on the way home tonight. I don't recommend that one. Your relationship coach, your dietary coach, the one that keeps order of all your records and everything. This is going to be your AI personal assistant that everybody's going to have, and he's doing it by chipping in and throwing into what he's calling this future is for everyone fund, this nice little communist socialist utopia where AI will just make your life easy and happy and you can do everything you want to as long as it says that you're allowed to do it. See, here's the problem, and I think this goes into the other conversation with like flock cameras and some of the other technology that we have. We're being monitored with everything that we do, right? This cell phone that you have right here, and I'm holding it up to my camera. If you have a cell phone, if you have a smartphone, if you have a smart TV, if you have a smart refrigerator, if you have a smart car, if you have a smart, and I say smart in air quotes here, but if you have all these technological advancements, then at some point, when will it say, you know, we're here for your health? And if we're going to have government-run healthcare, if we're going to have all these government social programs, then we need to make sure that you're in tip-top shape. So therefore, if you're going to have government programs and government healthcare and the quote-unquote death panels that were very controversial back in the day, remember that one? Remember that one? Yeah. And if you are going to have all that stuff, then we need to make sure that you qualify for the medical care that you're requesting. So therefore, we need access to your health data. We need access to everything that you're doing, and we're going to follow you everywhere you go with the flock cameras, and then we'll follow you with your GPS tracker, and then we can examine everything that you consume, everything that you do, how long you walk, how long you eat, how long you sit, how long you work, how long you sleep. It's crazy. I know technology is supposed to help us, not necessarily a fan, but the Muse Glimmer is apparently the new AI personal assistant that will be on your laptop. Show of hands, how many people are going to be using this one? How many people are going to use this type of technology? I don't know that necessarily everybody's going to, or anybody. I'm sure there's be some, but nonetheless, that is where we're at now. So the young generation, while they're out and about and creating the buzz all around New York City, AI is growing exponentially. And we have these data centers that are being talked about in rural communities all over the country, and now apparently even in downtown New York. But that does solve a problem, by the way, for them, doesn't it? Because Mamdani, who hates, obviously, rich people, and we shouldn't have billionaires, and we'll get to that in just a moment, that the fact that we shouldn't be allowed to have billionaires, they're leaving the city, so they're replacing those buildings, I guess, by putting in servers and putting in a bunch of data centers. So I guess he can say, look, we're creating a whole bunch of new wealth, we're creating revenue, we have these places all used up, and now the data centers can actually start paying us for property taxes, and we can start making some revenue. Is that going to be his saving grace for the whole socialist utopia? Because they're making so much money hand over fist with technology, or allegedly that they are, they could be paying those taxes. No one's going to care. And then he can turn around and say, look how great we've been able to do by removing the people and just putting in these data centers. The PR, man, it's pretty wild. That's a crazy one. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but all the power to him on that. Mark Zuckerberg, the personal AI that he's pushing on that front. All right, we have elections tonight, and I want you to be cautious of these. We're going to talk with Kathy at the bottom of the hour, but we do have multiple different races that we're paying attention to tonight, including the state of Minnesota, where President Donald Trump has endorsed Mike Lindell for the governor's primary. So far, he's at like a 98% success rate. So if the primaries are any indication of the power that President Trump has in the midterm season, Mike Lindell, more than likely going to get through that primary process. But all eyes are going to be on the Wisconsin governor's race, where we have Francesca Hong, the next Democratic Socialist of America, the radical that says even being married to a white guy and having a mixed child makes her uncomfortable with being so close to whiteness. Yeah.
Say what?
I don't know how you put those two together, but that's what she said multiple times. She says that again, just like all the other DSA candidates, that we are based on a nation of racism and slavery and bigotry and white supremacy and everything else under the sun. So after marrying a white guy and having a child that is half Asian, half white, that now she is so close to white supremacy she can taste it or smell it, and that's I know that's a problem for her, and that she's going to go on the race card for the state of, look, you're in Wisconsin. They're about as glow in the white pale as you can possibly get, and there's nothing wrong with that. I almost moved to the state of Wisconsin. It's cold up there, which makes me very happy. For those of you in the Green Bay area, you got the cheeseheads that are up there, so that's very nice. But you live in a cold environment, and you're complaining about white people? I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to represent the constituency up in the state of Wisconsin out of all the places that you want to try and represent and try and blame racism and white people for all the problems of society. You're in one of the colder climates where I could be wrong, I'm assuming is predominantly of the glow-in-the-dark Caucasian persuasion, which I am a part of. So we'll see if that resonates with voters in Wisconsin. I know that you kind of a swing state there back and forth. Is that enough for a statewide excitement of Democrats? We'll talk some more about that a little bit later. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Ready to take your health back? At Hoosier Health, we empower you with holistic options. From natural hormone support to targeted pain management, our handcrafted herbal products are designed to complement your wellness journey safely and effectively. With organic, easy-to-understand ingredients, you can trust in the quality and freshness of every product. Rediscover powerful forgotten herbs. Visit HoosierHealth.com and take the first step toward empowerment today.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The end of summer is here, and while you're enjoying that last family barbecue and trip to the lake, it's time that you stock up on your favorite beverages with Red State Spirits. Embrace that true American spirit with your True American Bourbon, True American Vodka, their gin, or their rum. And right now, for my listeners only, get a 4-pack of that True American Bourbon, use the promo code REASON at checkout, and get free shipping. Go ahead and share it with your family and friends and stock up for that summertime blowout. Go to redstatespirits.com and use the promo code REASON. That's redstatespirits.com. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hoosier.
All right, welcome back into the program. So great to have you along for the ride for your post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of that entire week, my friends. I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. As you know, we are gearing up for the affordability agenda, tax cuts, permitting reform, energy dominance, deregulation, healthcare reform, and so much more. These are all things that we can do to try and create that affordability agenda. We're on the brink of the golden age of America, and we want to make sure that we not just dip our toe into the golden age, but we jump in head first and we swim in all of its glory. I think that was a great analogy. You can find the information and all the entire agenda on our on their website at americansforprosperity.org/affordability. AFP is America's largest grassroots organization, as they are working with everyday Americans. You and I, 4 million boots on the ground, millions upon millions of dollars in campaigns and chapters in every single state, and you can be part of that movement as well. As your elected official is out on the campaign trail, doing their thing, doing town halls, talking to you, get this plan in front of them. It's vital that we make them focus on more tax cuts, deregulation, permitting reform, and so much more. Go to americansforprosperity.org/affordability, and let's help bring in that golden age of America with our friends over at AFP. By the way, there are some good news that we're seeing right now. There was an announcement after yesterday's executive order regarding vaccines. I know we touched on it a bit yesterday. Donald Trump making a great analogy, apparently, where the size of the vaccine, I loved how he categorized it, way bigger than what we had anticipated because it was the size of a soda bottle.
And I've seen proof of it, where they have a vaccination that looks like the size of a bottle of soda poured into a little child's body, and bad things happen in too many cases, because this is an explosion. This is an epidemic. So at year one, you should have 5 separate visits for vaccines rather than giving them all in the same day.
All right. So again, that one with that executive order yesterday going from about 70 vaccines down to 11. I know that's causing controversy, but here's the thing. Here's the big question. Is the health movement, the MAHA movement, is it actually working? The push to, quote, eat real food. The push to question not all vaccines and be the, quote, unquote, anti-vaxxers that we get labeled to be because we just don't blindly inject whatever the government wants us to inject into our bodies, but questioning what's good, what's bad, what's worth it, what's not worth it. Like, I think these are questions that we should have. I think those are questions that we should be accepting, and I think that that's something that we should be very proud of, that we question these types of things. So is it actually working? Let me see if this is the right audio clip here. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Released a statement that was really big news, if this is true, which, you know, he says it is.
Over the past.
Yeah, all right. So RFK Jr., while the MAHA movement's moving forward in transforming how we actually deal with healthcare in the nation, it sounds like that the PR campaign, especially the, quote, eat real food campaign, is actually working in the nation.
Over the past year, sales growth of real food outpaced ultra-processed food for the first time by approximately 7%. And industry is responding. Food companies across the country have made extraordinary commitments to reformulate their products and remove artificial dyes. Just last week, Kellogg announced that it will eliminate artificial colors from all of its cereals by the end of 2026, a full year ahead of schedule. Kraft, Heinz, General Mills, Nestle, ConAgra, J.M. Smucker, and Oots are all among the companies that have also made major commitments to remove artificial colors and many other additives from their products.
All right, so the real food outpacing artificial food by 7% in growth. Does that mean that we're consuming more real food than non-real food? No. Not yet, but the growth in consumption on what industry is actually growing with consumption, the eat real food outpaced that processed, chemically ridden, whatever, preserved stuff by 7%. So that is good news. It's working. We're changing the dynamic of the industry itself. We're changing the mindset of the people. We changed the food pyramid with the recommendations that we're going to teach in public school. We're changing the way we start thinking about what we consume and put into our body. The change is beginning to happen. The PR is working, and we're moving in the right direction. That's encouraging to me.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Our votes are not enough. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but does something about it, as they're America's only Christian conservative wireless carrier, and they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes that we actually care about. And now, just for my listeners, get free activation with offer code REASON. Again, go to patriotmobile.com and use promo code REASON for free activation. That's patriotmobile.com, user code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
It's America's political therapist. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Yeah, therapying you on a regular basis. What's up, my friends? Welcome back into it. Great to have you. If you want more information on the program, you can find us on our website, HoosierReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. We also have been adding some new features on our website, by the way, so go and check those out. You can sign up for the newsletter that comes out the first Monday of every single month. And if you want the podcast of the show, which we are still killing it on those numbers, thank you for that. More than I can say. You can find it on any of your favorite podcasting sites by typing in the full name of the show, which is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. All right, we are following some of the primary elections that are going on tonight on what may happen. We have the race in Minnesota, governor's race, particularly President Donald Trump endorsing Mike Lindell, the founder of MyPillow, who said he's stepping away, by the way, from MyPillow to run solely on the election. That'll be interesting. We have the governor's race in Wisconsin with the radical DSA candidate, Francisca Hong, that says that we're all a bunch of evil white supremacists or something, that's running for governor of Wisconsin as well. Also, South Carolina has their Senate primary where Lindsey Graham's sister is on there. She's already in there for the temporary. She's also running to be the full-time U.S. Senator, and that raises up whether she will get that nomination or not for the full-time. That will be decided tonight, so cannot wait to break down some of those numbers tomorrow on the show. That being said, though, let's look a little bit further into midterm season.
What's trending today?
As we kind of break down what could potentially happen in November, latest poly-market odds show that Republicans may potentially lose the House and keep the Senate. Is that true? With our next guest on the program.
Let's go to the Red State Spirits Hotline.
That's right. Our friends over at RedStateSpirits.com. Go and check them out. And by the way, make sure to use the promo code REASON for that free shipping. Embrace that true American spirit. Labor Day weekend right around the corner. Stock up with those adult beverages right now. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly. Happy to have on the program with the Action Network, Kathy Morris, with us today. Kathy, how are you, my friend?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show. I am intrigued by these numbers that are coming out for the midterm season right now. Now, traditionally, I mean, we know it that midterm season, usually the minority party, so in this case would be the Democrats, usually would do relatively well. And it shows right now, according to the numbers that you guys have, that Democrats look like they may take the House. But talk about some of these numbers that you found with your latest polls and predictions.
Yeah. So, as of the latest numbers, we're looking at prediction markets here, which do tend to be a bit more aggressive than pollsters, which kind of are a little bit more on the conservative side. That said, from recent elections, we know that polls are not always the most accurate, so it can provide a different lens as well.
Yeah.
We're seeing, an overwhelming likelihood of the House. It would be an extreme long shot for Republicans to win the House. But where it gets kind of interesting is the Senate. The last poll from the New York Times was very 50-50, very coin flip.
Sure.
But we're seeing a slightly greater spread in favor of the Republicans on poly markets.
That is interesting. And you're right. I would take betting odds way better than polls, because that's where, if people are literally putting their money down on it, then there's a better indication based on their feel. So that is really interesting for sure. Is there any chance that with these numbers, especially for the House of Representatives, we've talked to some of the congressmen, my congressmen, a few of them here in Kansas and elsewhere that we broadcast, and they say, now again, this is, campaign trail talk, so, take it with a grain of salt, but they're optimistic that they could maintain and even gain some seats in the House, largely because of some of the redistricting that's been done in certain states that could kind of change that up. Do you see that as a possibility here?
The individual races definitely get a little bit more complicated, and we definitely see some closer spreads on some of those races than we do as a whole. I have a hard time seeing it being anything but a Democrat majority in the House, just based on the odds. But again, odds are odds. Sometimes things happen that are not as predicted.
Yeah, well, that is that is very true, for sure. With the mindset, and are you seeing with the polls? And I know that you breaking down the poly market based on the different polls, have a lot of the polls been pretty consistent across the board, from the New York Times to some of the other ones that are done, Gallup polls that are out there? Are they pretty consistent on what they're predicting for midterms?
Yeah, I'm sure there are some outliers, but I haven't seen anything greater than like a 5 point difference. Or I think it's been a few weeks. But I saw at one point there was a 10 point difference, but even then it still was for the House at least, was pretty secure.
Yeah.
But most polls are calling the Senate a coin flip. And that's the one to watch, and also the one where I think the poly market angle is the most interesting because, again, it has that live time.
Yeah.
The odds fluctuate dramatically based on the news.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I know it's still early, but from the trend that you've seen with watching these polls and from the poly market numbers that have been out there, has there been any increase in, let's take the House of Representatives for an example. If the poly market shows 86% chance that Democrats take over the House of Representatives, has it been going up or has that been going down, let's say, over the past 6 months leading up to this point?
We've been seeing some fluctuations, like even now, 86 is what I sent you, I think a few days ago, but we're looking at 84%. So it's going up, it's going down, kind of like that little frequent, I call it the poly market wiggle, because the odds are always like having a constant 1 point, 2 point adjustments.
Yeah.
And then of course, you do see some spikes every now and then with with certain events where traders are seeing this and thinking it's going to be longer term, and then changing their mind because it doesn't really change the overall trajectory. Now, then again, we have a long way till November, so I have a feeling that we're going to see some more crazy spikes, and things could continue to do that gradual dip or gradual shift.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to be curious to see is as we go, obviously they're in recess now, so I don't think a lot's going to change over the next, I want to say, month until they come back after the Labor Day weekend for both the House and the Senate. We have the end of a fiscal year. We have the Save America Act. They're still trying to figure out how to actually get passed. I think it really depends on right now, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kathy, but some of the trends it shows, I think that really the result is going to be based on the actions of Republican leaders in Congress on how much they actually get done or don't get done that may drive their people to the polls.
I mean, you could very well be right, and I think summer is an interesting time to look at this because, a lot of people are distracted by other things in the summer, and once fall comes around, people kind of get more into business manner and get back into their normal just schedule. Their kids are back in school, and they have the time to really think and evaluate situations.
Yeah. That is true. I didn't even think about that. Back to school now. They don't have the kids running around at home anymore, so they can actually sit down and do some studying on some of the issues. I guess that would make sense too.
Can't get distracted by the beach anymore.
I love that. That is really good. We're talking with Kathy Morris with the Action Network. Let's talk about voter turnout. Have you guys been tracking or following, or are you surprised at the lack of voter turnout right now in some of the primaries? I'm in Kansas. We had our primaries last week. 38% Republican voter turnout, which is, really shocking to me, at least for a midterm season when we had a governor's race, we have Senate races, we have congressional races. I mean, they're pretty big races, and not even a 40% voter turnout in primaries. Kind of a shock and awe, and that's been the trend that we've seen in other states around the nation as well. Is that surprising, and will it come down to, do you think with these odds and numbers, just come out to just basic voter turnout on who shows up to the polls?
Yeah, with the numbers as close as we're seeing for the Senate, it's going to really come out to who actually can motivate their voters to come out, because they're even poly market, which shows the Republicans in the lead. It's still relatively within the margin of error.
Why is that, do you think?
I think there's just so many races going on and so many different variables and so many different ways. I think that people lack the confidence to swing one way or the other.
That makes sense. I know you guys are nonpartisan. You're just kind of tracking some of the data and information. With the rise of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists that are within the party right now trying to overhaul the entire Democrat establishment party, has that fluctuated with encouragement, voter activism, voter turnout from the Democrat side, do you think, or has that maybe seen some pushback and resistance?
At least for more localized races, it definitely has poly market. And again, it's complicated to say because poly market is speculative. So you do occasionally get people who are just trying to, bet on an extreme or less likelihood outcomes.
Yeah.
But for example, in New York City, poly market was calling that well before the polls were calling that.
With the Mamdani race for the mayor's race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and I know that, look, we broke down those numbers for him. It was foreign individuals that were voting, and it was the younger generation that overwhelmingly turned out. And again, we talk about voter activism. People didn't show up. 1 million people showed up to vote in that one. That's it. Only 1 million people in New York City, and it was predominantly younger individuals and first-time voters that actually turned out to vote. So he won because no one else actually showed up to vote, which goes back to the whole voter engagement issue, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it kind of points out another sometimes weakness of traditional polls is who are they calling?
Yeah.
A lot of times polls tend to not call younger voters, which a lot of the times younger voters do not turn out. So it can often make sense, but when they do, it means the polls can be drastically off.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see how going from isolated areas, congressional seats that are very blue, very safe districts for Democrats where they have been pushing the envelope, getting these more radical candidates in, as opposed to a statewide race having to appeal to a larger broad of voters with a James Tallarico Senate race in Texas, or the Abdul El Sayed in Michigan with the Senate race there, or a governor's race like we're seeing in Wisconsin tonight, how they appeal to a broader spectrum of people with a more radicalized ideology.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how everything turns out. And I think especially in some of these cases, it's not just going to be who's running, but also what else is being voted on.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Kathy, we get a lot about 30 seconds left here, but are you excited for midterm season? And with the numbers that we're seeing right now, but do you think this is kind of how it's going to turn out for the last few months for the 90-day dash to November?
You know, I tend to think these numbers are backing what are backing the current likelihood. I would bet on it.
Yeah.
You know, if I were.
Yeah, you put the money on where it's at right now, kind of how it's going to lay out.
That's where I stand currently. But again, we've seen some pretty wild fluctuations in races in the past.
Yeah.
So it's really too early to call.
Yeah. The decision and the final factors are still out there. Kathy Morris, we appreciate the time very much, my friend. Let's do it again soon and get you back on here.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Hey, you bet. Appreciate it very much. All right, we got one segment left. Back after this here for the Voice of Reason. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
It's time you diversify your retirement savings with gold, silver, and precious metal IRAs. Andy Hoosier here for Revelation Gold Group. They're based on Christian values of integrity, stewardship, and trust as they help personalize guidance to help you explore alternatives to the traditional stock market investment. Discover how precious metals can help strengthen your retirement strategy with Revelation Gold Group. Go check out their website today that's just for my listeners only at HoosierMetals.com. That's HOOSER metals.com. Go check them out today.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason. The end of summer is here, and while you're enjoying that last family barbecue and trip to the lake, it's time that you stock up on your favorite beverages with Red State Spirits. Embrace that true American spirit with your True American Bourbon, True American Vodka, their gin, or their rum. And right now, for my listeners only, get a 4-pack of that True American Bourbon, use the promo code REASON at checkout, and get free shipping. Go ahead and share it with your family and friends and stock up for that summertime blowout. Go to redstatespirits.com and use the promo code REASON. That's redstatespirits.com. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hoosier Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HoosierReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HoosierReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hoosier Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosier-holic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosier-holics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hoosier Media Network. Find out more information online at HoosierReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
This segment of the Voice of Reason brought to you by Hoosier Health. For your holistic health remedies, find more online at HoosierHealth.com.
Yeah, HoosierHealth.com. Go and check them out with all the great holistic remedies for you. Also, our entire list of partners on our website at HoosierReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. I do want to tell you about one of those, which is Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile, America's Christian conservative wireless provider, giving you the best service available and using towers of all three major networks and their 100% based U.S. customer service. Patriot Mobile is more than just that wireless provider, but they're an activist organization helping fight for the same values that we fight for on this show every single day. If you're looking to upgrade your phone, why not? Now's the best time to do it. Do it right now with Patriot Mobile. Make sure to try the Up phone with their Libertas or Liberty operating system, helping protect your data every time that you use it. And right now, whether you get a new phone, don't get a new phone, consolidate, whatever you do, if you switch to Patriot Mobile, use our promo code REASON and get 1 free month of service. Keep your phone, keep your number, or upgrade everything today. Go to patriotmobile.com/reason. That's patriotmobile.com/reason. Do it right now. Thanks again to Kathy Morris on the program. Interesting numbers with the stats. 84% chance of Republicans losing the House of Representatives. I'm the eternal optimist. I'm going to say that we might be able to maintain, according to some, actually keep it. I like the shock and awe factor. I know that poly-market odds are better than polls, but at the same time, poly-market betting odds are also based on the polls and the consumer sentiment on what they feel may be happening. And remember the finances, the war chest that we have with the RNC and the MAGA super PAC. So look, I mean, it's early and things could be changing. I'm the eternal optimist. We'll see exactly what happens. That being said, primaries again tonight, and all eyes are on the state of Wisconsin. Francesca Hong, the radical DSA candidate wanting to run for governor in the state, where Democrats are going out of their way to try and say that she has backed off on some of the absolute radicalism that she's advocated for, the white supremacy, everybody's evil because your skin is white, the history of slavery, everything else, that it was what AOC said was, what did she call it? She called it the woke 1.0 because it's just the old version, and she's totally away from that now, right?
The abolished prisons, abolished police, which is also positions that have been taken by a lot of the progressive candidates who have won.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get around that? I mean,
Yeah.
those are not positions that are supported by
Right.
most of
I mean, I think that a lot of these races, even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized.
Yeah.
But these races ultimately are local and all politics are local. My understanding is that Francesca Hong has made clear her present stances to her electorate.
Yeah, she's moved away from a lot of that.
Right, she's moved away from it. And I have a local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
Woke one was crazy. So one or two things have happening here. Either one, she bought into the gullible propaganda of defund police and people are evil and everything else, racism. And she evolved from that, which is possible, probably highly unlikely, but it's possible. Or, like we see every time in elections, that when you finally go from activist to become leader, you change your tone on how you actually campaign and talk to constituents because you realize that that's extremely unpopular, except for your little circle of crazy people that actually, you know, in your echo chamber resonates very well for you. So when you actually try to pander to a larger crowd, like the state of Wisconsin, and you can't just be in your one tiny little district, but you have to appeal to everybody in the state, you change that tone, which is why CNN tried to break that down as well and say, wait a second, nothing's changing here. She's just lying to you to try to actually win.
There are people like Francesca Hong who adapted to a lot of that rhetoric and fully believe it. And she's leading a campaign with that as her values. I think Francesca Hong is a deeply unserious person. I think we've all but lost Wisconsin if she wins this primary over David Crowley. I sincerely hope people in Wisconsin choose differently. But
I don't, to be clear. I vote for her tomorrow.
But she is a reflection of the way we're laughing now, but this is the way a lot of people were talking. White women were apologizing to me about their own whiteness. And so Francesca Hong saying her proximity to whiteness and her biracial son makes her uncomfortable. Quite frankly, if we take that and put it in 2019, it all kind of gels and fits together.
It all fits together because it's the same rhetoric from then, what you're hearing with the rhetoric today. They don't change. If you had that kind of crazy ideology, if you're dumb enough to fall for that type of ideology, and I don't like to call people dumb on this program, we're better than that, but if you fall for that absurd, crazy, hate-mongering, superficial, really low intelligence type of rhetoric, then you haven't changed. I hope you have that aha moment. I hope you wake up, but you haven't really changed. Come on, man. You really think that's going to happen? And she's running as a part of the DSA, running as a radical, and you're going to pander to the entire state of Wisconsin? I agree with whoever that was on CNN that she's not a serious candidate, but most of these DSA candidates are not serious candidates, but yet the voters being fooled think that they are, which is why they're winning across the nation. It's going to be fun to see how that one plays out. We'll be back at it tomorrow to recap that one. Until then, be your own voice of reason. It is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hoosier. We'll see you on the radio soon. Bye.
For too long, Washington has said no to builders, workers, and American families, and yes to bureaucracy, delay, and special interests. Let's flip that.